wait a second, man. What do you think the teacher's gonna look like this year?
Teacher, stop that screaming. Teacher, don't you see? Don't wanna be no uptown fool. Maybe I should go to hell, but I'm doing well. Teacher needs to see me after school. I think of all the education that I missed, but then my homework was never quite like this. Oh, got it bad, got it bad, got it bad. I'm not the teacher. I got it bad, so bad. I'm not the teacher.
Hey, I heard you missed us. We're back. I brought my pencil. Give me something to write on, man.
I heard about your lessons, but lessons are so cold. I didn't know about this school. Little girl from Cherry Lawn, how can you be so bold? How did you know the golden rule? I think of all the education that I missed, but then my homework was never quite like this. Oh, got it bad, got it bad, got it bad. I'm not the teacher. I've got it bad, so bad. I'm not the teacher.
Oh, man, I think the clock is slow. I don't feel dirty. Class dismissed.
Ooh, yeah. I've got it bad, got it bad, got it bad. I'm not the teacher. Oh! Oh! Yes, I'm hot! Wow! Oh my God!
Everybody, we are back. It is another night with Indie Reporter. Yours truly, the current voice, the current face of Indie Reporter, Steve Whitmer. That is until I can find somebody to replace me. Maybe one day in the future. I'm not sure. It is the continuation of 80s week. There we had some Hot for Teacher from Van Halen. I know that you guys love it. I swear, I'm not exactly sure what song I'm going to be playing this week. I got 2 more days left, and then we have to figure out what I'm going to do for next week, of course. All right, so let's get into the meat and potatoes, as they would say, of what's going on in the State House. Dude, there are a crazy amount of bills. 42 bills in 9 committees. And here's the thing. I knew that these bills were going to be talked about for a long time. Education, in the Ways and Means, because you had education in the House and in the Senate. Polly in the chat, let's go. Of course, great choice. I had someone pick that out for me. Of course, it was a solid choice. Courts and Criminal Code, which, by the way, they talk about the doxing bill. Oh, boy, you guys are going to want to sit around for this one. Elections, Ways and Means, Health and Provider Services, Insurance, Pensions and Labor. Another, Senate Education and Judiciary. The Ways and Means, what, for like 5 hours, and all these other ones were a couple hours. So I have about, I don't know, give or take 12 hours of committee meetings to listen to. The unfortunate part is I can't do like double speed on any of this stuff unless I were to record it, which I'm not going to, of course. I'm not even sure if these are archived yet. I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm just going to go through the ones that I was paying attention to and the ones that I have information on to, which is like, I don't know, maybe a quarter of them, maybe. And then what's nice is there's not a whole lot going on tomorrow. There's going to be some talks in the House, especially on HB 1002. But then, like, over in the Senate, there's only 2 bills to talk about. One of them is important, one of them is not. But then, like, after that, I'll have time to go back and watch everything. And so that way for the Thursday show and the Friday show, it'll be perfect. We'll do the final catch up on Friday. You guys know how you're doing. I'm finally getting better at this whole thing. But this has been a unusual session because of the redistricting. So we're like 2 weeks that we have to be done by the end of the month. All right. So, and I did, by the way, I think I talked about this last night. I am going to do a live watch along for the last day of session. No matter how late it is. Last time it was like 2, 3 in the morning. Me and everybody else will be here watching it. It's going to be perfect. It's going to be beautiful. All right, so let's get right into it. Education. This one took forever. The one that took the most amount of time is SB 78, and this bill primarily has to do with wireless communication device policy. Mostly has to do with cell phones inside of the classroom, but not just the classroom, but the school in general. And that's the part that they're having a trouble and amending and trying and having lots of talk about of what they should be doing. Because part of the problem is cell phones being secured. That is that's basically the big talk about it right now. How are you going to secure them? So they had Jeff Butts, former Wayne Township superintendent. He was there. Somebody from the Fort Wayne was over there. So Fort Wayne, apparently, I did not know this. I should know this, but Fort Wayne is the largest school district in Indiana. And I've talked about this before, but they bought a bunch of security bags, and it ended up costing them almost $500,000. You know how I was saying, like, oh, it's $200,000? I was wrong. It was actually $500,000, which is crazy. Then Jeff Butts spoke. And so what he said, I don't have any of my notes, so I'm just going all of this by memory. Jeff Butts spoke, and he said that they did the same thing in Wayne Township, K through 8. I think they had a no cell phone policy. And then in high school, it had like a lifted up policy, but it had to be for education, if I remember right. So they asked, like, well, how much did you spend on security bags? And they said it was about $250,000. Can you imagine spending $250,000 on securing cell phones? Dude, this is a parental travesty right now. Hey, guess what? Maybe you shouldn't bring your cell phone to school. Seems pretty simple. I mean, I'm sure the people that are watching this right now, we didn't have to deal with cell phones in high school. I didn't even get my first cell phone until after high school. And I didn't even have my first smartphone until like 2011, something like that, 2012 maybe. I don't know, doesn't matter. All right, so that was basically the talk about that. I didn't get a chance to listen to all of it. I had a very busy day and trying to go back and forth because there are a couple of bills that I wanted to pay attention to in courts and criminal code and elections is what I was trying to focus on. But fortunately, I just read through the bills. I just wanted to see what they were going to say and if they were going to be voting on it or if they were just going to have committee talks. So moving on to SB, let's do 159. That's the school technology and policies. Now, basically, this bill has 3 purposes. 1, schools can't get tech funding unless they create a 3-year technology plan. So, no plan, no money. So, the plan has to show how tech helps learning, teacher training, replacement schedule, rules for appropriate use, and how parents can control devices at home. It's mostly a budget accountability bill. Number 2, parents get control of school devices at home. The biggest change. This is what was just blowing my mind. I'm hoping that the video is archived, the meeting's archived, so I can go back and watch it. Because I really want to listen to what they have to say on this one. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. This is 159, yeah. Hold on, I gotta move my here. Because we're gonna talk about 200 after that. This is what I don't understand. So children can take their Chromebooks. So let me just go back. So starting in 2027, schools must let parents strengthen filters, block sites, set screen time limits, but only after school, not during school hours, and not during virtual learning. So basically, if it's the school's Chromebook, but in your house, the parents get control. This is what I don't understand. How is it that the filters aren't completely maxed out anyway? Why should the parents be messing around with the filters that are already standard? Like, yeah, I get it. Like, the parents can increase the filters, but like the Chromebook is there for school. Why would they be using it after school? This is why I'm a huge advocate for Chromebooks not going home. Just bring back regular books, man. I mean, for real. We really peaked in the 90s, man. But so this is they say it's a parental rights and / online safety bill. I think this is an atrocious bill. We just need to be more we need to get a boo box. All right, we just need a boo box. So that means kids can also undo it. Exactly. What if the parents use it for their exactly? Polly totally gets it. Is that okay? So we can change the filters. Well, what's stopping us from lowering them? What's stopping that crazy family relative and saying, hey, you know what? Let's get crazy. Let's drop all the filters. Let's get naughty and a little bit nasty on here. Let's really mess with the school. And then who's going to get in trouble? Huh? Who's going to learn from that? Nobody, because we have habitual line steppers that are going to be doing all this all the time. Yeah, parents use the iPads all the time. Yeah, and here's the thing, too. I didn't know this, but like different school districts have different ways of doing it. They might have Chromebooks. Another school district might use iPads. So, and then what happens? You're going to have an IT person, right? Then you got to pay that IT person. You're going to have an on-campus IT person probably, because I'm sure the IT person you have right now only knows how to fix the copy machine. All right, then number 3, phones mostly being banned during class. I think this is just an on top of thing. So this puts the phone away rule. We'll see what happens with this though. I just don't understand the whole school filter thing. Like I said, I'm gonna go back and listen to it. I was going between 3 different committees today, just focusing on the bills that I wanted to listen to. But I'm trying to give you guys a quick overview. All right, SB 200. So basically, let's hold on, wait. Where's number 1? There it is. Okay, so this has to do with vendor contract with schools access for organizations and legislative procedure note. The bill went through education. Okay, just between 2 things. All right, so vendor contracts entered into, amended, renewed. Choice of law provisions. These are. Hold on. Where's my rough draft on this? Okay. Starting July 1st, any new or updated contract between a school, including a charter school, and a vendor must follow Indiana law. Vendors cannot include clauses that try to use the laws of another state. Vendors also cannot include clauses that try to shift responsibility for mistakes, negligence, or intentional wrongdoing onto the school or others. Those clauses are invalid. Additionally, schools must allow certain organizations to provide information to students at least once or twice a year on school property during school release. That part I really want to find out about. If a school refuses, the organization can file a grievance with the state department. I mean, I didn't even know this was a deal. So they're trying to use laws from a different state from a different contract. It sounds like someone's not paying attention to the contracts. But like I said, yeah, exactly. And Polly brings up a good point. What about all the training that has to happen? Not just for the IT people, but also for the students, the superintendent, the principals, possibly the children. Instead of learning math, science, and reading, we have to learn how to use the iPad or Chromebook. Man, we need to bring back books. That's all I'm going to say. Yep. All right, so moving on from there. 204. Do I have 204? I do not have 204. This is a various education bill. The fiscal on here. SEI, higher education. Oh, I think this. Oh, here we go. This is interesting. The bill provides that an individual who has obtained a license to teach in a charter school may be eligible to obtain an initial practitioner license under certain conditions. The bill also removes the requirement that an individual must hold a bachelor's degree in science, technology, engineering, or mathematics as a component of certain pathways to receive an initial practitioner license. Man, this is going to piss off some teachers. You're saying me telling me that these people don't have to have a bachelor's degree to do this, and I had to pay for all that crap. This is BS. Let's see. What is the chief? Oh, the Commission for Higher Education. Yeah, so like I said, I'm going to go back and listen to this. I just want to get the quick report. So this is how it normally happens. You'll have the PD for teachers. Oh, yeah. Let me put this over here so I can read it. I have like the thing over here, but I'm just going to put it over here because I have all my notes on the screen right now. So yeah, like what is SEI? What is that an acronym for? Science. Oh, what is it? Science, Engineering, and State Educational Institute Annual Report to CHE. Oh, okay. So there's a bunch of reporting requirements. I don't know. Who cares? Who cares? I'll go back and listen to it. All right. So moving on from there, Courts and Criminal Code. Not much here. I'm going to go back and listen to SB9. That's all I already care. Everything else is pretty much self-explanatory for redaction of children's names in court records, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so sale of telecommunication equipment. Do you guys remember, I've talked about this before, do you guys remember the when cat converters were getting stolen? And then they had to have a law of like, okay, the VIN has to be on there. There has to be like a the title of the car that it came off of her and proof that you own the car. This is going to be something similar to it. I just don't know how it's going to work in real life because Matt Pierce actually brought up a good point. And I think even Eric Koch, who is the author of the bill, they were like, yeah, we got a bunch of stuff we have to tighten up because what happens if you bring in your home router and you say, oh, I'm gonna pitch this thing? Or what happens if you have like 12 reels of Radio Shack wire from 1983? Like, how is that going to work out? And so on and so forth. And you know what this really has to do with is like, hey, you know, we have this cracked out bump that shows up with all this burnt up copper wire, and he has like 300 feet of it. It feels like something's going on here, you know, like. But how are you going to figure out? Are you going to do stereotypical judgy? Because I sure would. That's how I would look at it. Like, where'd you get this wire from? You know, I just found it. I had it hanging around in my backyard. Who would have ever thought, you know? So, I watched some of that. They're going to really have to tighten it up. They're going to have to be very specific. That's just why there's no, they didn't vote on anything for it because it's still in committee. So they're going to amend the crap out of it and to get very specific. I would not be surprised if this thing gets tossed out of committee. I would not be surprised if they're going to have to wait till next year for this bill. That's all I'm saying. But it does have Rodney Paul in it, so there might be a chance it gets through. All right, SB 140 doxing. This is a very fascinating topic right now, especially right now. And I learned a lot. Well, honestly, I knew a bunch of stuff, but all of this confirmed all of it. So, everybody knows why this bill came out is because of all the swatting that happened last year during redistricting. And you can see by the authors of it, Becker, Freeman, and Glick. I don't think Freeman ever got swatted, but I think Glick and Vanetta Becker did. So this is where it gets really weird and where you start opening doors that you can't close, because what the argument is right now is like, what is considered doxing? Because in this bill, what they were saying in committee is like, okay, you put out a name, but you also put out their address, where they work at, what they do, pictures of them, blah, blah, blah. Okay, there is an argument for that. But then Chris Jeter was like, well, what if I just say their name? What if I say, I don't like, here's a perfect example. Everybody's talking about Ryan Mears right now, especially for him running for re-election. And also yesterday, where he was talking about, hey, random people are getting picked up because of the color of their skin. Or, you know, civil rights are being trampled on. And then you have a bunch of all of us going out there on the internet and saying Ryan Mears is a piece of shit. He should not be running for election. But you'll never see anybody say, like, someone should get him. You'll never see any of that, and you'll never see that from me. But a lot of crazy people out there will start talking crap about him. So in a weird scenario, what happens if something happens to him? What happens if they get swatted? Do all the people on the internet that said something, oh, I don't like him, oh, Ryan Mears sucks or any and all the above, do those people get in trouble? That was the question. And even Chris Jeter said, it's like, what if I just put out their name? What does that mean? And they're like, yeah, that, and basically they're indicating that's not doxing. So for all of you doxing professionals out there, or doxing bros, or oh my God, big brain doxing people, guess what happens when you put out their name? Nothing. That's not doxing. All right. You doxing is when you're putting out their name, their address, their phone number, all their personal information out there. Putting out their name, though, that is not doxing. Good freaking luck trying to prove that is doxing. So I expect this bill to either get killed or completely amended so bad that you have to be specific on the language. But here's the other thing, too. All those swatting incidents, whatever happened with that? We're 3 months from that point in December. Has anybody gotten caught? Is anybody in jail? No, there haven't. There have been many instances out there where people have put out their other people's information, and that was nothing ever happened. So for all you big brain doxing bros out there, putting just someone's name out there, that's not doxing. All right, so moving on from there, school board, and I was really curious on 112 and 113, but school board candidates, not much here. It's mostly like, because school board candidates, they have the option, by the way, it is not a shall, it is a may for school board candidates to put out what party they are from. They wanted it as a shall, but then they amended it. This was last year, but then it turned into a may. Yeah, bi sucks too. I still got to look up that information. That information. I was so busy with other stuff today. All right, so candidacy documents. Let me show you this, all right? Because I somewhat not familiar with this bill, but familiar with it enough where it's more of like an administration thing on 112. This is what this does. It creates a formal definition and a rule for notice of withdrawal when a candidate backs out of a race. So like Mike Thompson, he was going to run for Senate and he backed out. And it sneaks in a small address update rule tied to that paperwork. So here's what the bill does. It gives a section that clarifies what counts as an official withdrawal document. So you have an actual withdrawal document. I'm home Friday. Oh boy, I can't wait for that. Also, the other part is, say that you run for office and then you have a withdrawal. And now you have it, but you were at a different address. Apparently, this actually happens. I'll be very interested on what is found out on that, by the way. And a candidate files their withdrawal, and the address on that form is different from their voter registration. Then their signatures automatically acts as a request. This is what I don't understand. Why Democrats voted no on this? I think it was like, I was waiting for that. I don't understand why they thought this was such a big deal to vote no on. I think it was so over the head, or they thought it was like, this doesn't make sense to me, so therefore it must be bad. No, man, this really doesn't matter for anything. There's probably rare cases where this does happen. Where like, hey, we have to have actual paperwork for withdrawals, which I'm sure that already is, but also for if there's an address change. All right. Then the preservation of election material. I wanted to clip this live, but then I was listening to something else and I missed the clipping portion. So the preservation of election material. I totally expect this to pass, but there were some Democrat clerks that were really upset. So the election material must preserve from 22 months to 60 months. And here's why. Back in 2020, someone did vote twice. And it was because I believe they got married. And so they were able to vote with their maiden name and with their new last name is what happened. And because David Shelton, who was speaking on the bill, was like, we had the sheriff's office, the prosecutor's office, they all agreed that she did vote twice, but they were missing one piece of paperwork, which they were not able to save because it only goes up to 22 months. If it was up to 5 years instead of almost 2 years, then that woman would be able to be prosecuted. Whether she did it intently or not is a completely different story. I'm sure there would have been some goofy plea deal. However, it was really funny because the Porter County clerk, she was speaking. She's like, we just don't have the capacity to hold all this stuff. We would have to find somewhere outside of Porter County and have to store it. I'm like, really? Out of the entire county of Porter, you would have to find somewhere to store this. Really? That seems very far-fetched and kind of fear-mongering, and also shows how much you suck at your job. And so so that's what that happened. They didn't vote on it. I'm hoping they vote yes on it. That'd be a massive win. All right, so the powers and duties of the Election Commission. Very interesting stuff. So basically what this bill would do is that it would tell the IGA they have to come up with the rules for them to follow instead of bureaucrats like people in the election division. This is very interesting stuff. It's like, tell us how we're supposed to run the show. Because right now, we kind of do things the way that they're supposed to. But if there's a question, like, well, I take it one way and another person takes a different way. And so this would tell the IGA, you guys tell us how you want us to run stuff. Put it in statute. That's basically what it is. Well, that's good. All right, so then let's move on to Ways and Means. Dude, this thing went on for 5 hours. I listened to I tried listening to all of SB1, but then I had to bail out for an appointment. And this one was going to be the longest one, which I knew. This has to do with Chris Garton trying to bring in where illegals are not getting Medicaid. However, Nikki Kelly was watching this. Hold on. There was at 11:37. Is that down more? 12:78. Is that down more? 12:78. Where is 11:37? Oh, okay. Okay, we're good. All right. So what's interesting on this bill, and I was listening to it as much as I could. I even had it on my phone. Was right here. Nikki Kelly was obviously listening to it, and she said, listening to discussion on error rates of SNAP and want to clarify, it's not just an eligibility issue. Errors count for overpayments and underpayments. And so Jonathan Ingram, who is VP Policy, did I follow this person? Oh, yeah, I got to give this guy a follow. Dude, all right, I'm clipping this tonight. This was really funny. All right, so Jonathan Ingram, who spoke on the bill, says, for context, 78% of Indiana's errors were overpayments in 2024. In 2023, 80% of Indiana's error payments were overpayments. So, hey, somebody got way too much SNAP money, and those were the errors in overpayments. Here's what's funny. Jonathan Ingram, they said they have like 37 locations, or it was either 37 states or 37 different locations in the U.S. And so Greg Porter asked this guy, he's like, how well do you know Indiana SNAP program? It's like, do you know it really well? And the guy goes, yes. And Greg Porter's like, is that it? And this Jonathan guy is like, what else? What do you want me to say? Do you want me to take a test? And he's like, do you want to get dismissed? It's like, dude, I don't know what else you want me to say. He's like, yeah, I know all this stuff. And so Greg Porter just goes on this like rumbling question / statement. It was so funny. I'm definitely clipping it and definitely giving this guy a follow. Oh, also, speaking of follows, we are, let's just say 50. We are 50 followers away from 10,000 followers. So tell all your friends, tell all your buddies to follow Indy Reporter. I would love to get to 10,000 followers before Super Bowl weekend. So find 50 people, tell them to follow Indy Reporter. We are almost at a mile marker. It'll be amazing. I'll throw like a pizza party or something. All right, so I'm not even going to get into all of this. I will go back and listen to it, and I'll probably talk about this on Friday unless it goes to the House floor, which I don't anticipate it to. Because none of it was voted on. So I'm sure they're going to amend it next week and have a vote on it. So we'll talk about this on Friday. I actually put that in my notes. I'll put that in my notes for Friday talk. Means and ways. Oh. All right, so moving on from the Senate to the Health and Provider Service. Did not, wait a minute, 1278. Here we go. So 1278 has to do with nursing matters. And I wanted to know, whenever I see a 10 versus 2, it perks my ears and says, Drew in the house, let's go. Barbara, Polly, still waiting on Ducky. Where's Ducky and Special Power at? We need the whole crew here. 1278. So basically, what does this have to do with? I mean, oh, okay. So this has to do with nursing programs, and basically, there obviously we all know there is a nursing shortage. And before, I don't know, I had heard about this, but I don't know because I'm not in the nursing field. But there is only a certain amount of people that you can take in for the nursing program. What this does is that it expands that number. Where is that? Do I even have that number? Yes. All right, so hold on. Nursing board seats. Good programs. Oh, so they'll be able to have unlimited growth, and then some of the newer programs that they're still doubly checking, they will double enrollment. So basically, if you are like a good school for nursing, like Ivy Tech, etc., you will basically be able to have unlimited enrollment now, so anybody can become or go and learn how to be a nurse. Now, at first, I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that, but it's not just, this is where they get a little bit sneaky. This, you might think this is good on the surface level, but this all has to do with money. Because what happens when you bring in more nurses? You bring in more money. So you might see like an extra $1 million to Ivy Tech if this bill passes, because you'll basically able to have unlimited nurses that go in there. And from this bill, as far as I can tell. For establishment programs, so for newer programs that are 1 to 5 years old, still let it go just slower. They can double the enrollment, which is good. So hit the quality benchmarks and you're trusted. It's like, hey, you know what? We've had a really good record of our nurses. They're not stupid. They know how to pass. They stay in school. Listen, boys and girls, just let us get more nurses through the program and also more money. So, yeah, that's what this bill is all about. There's also a nursing shortage, supposedly. I know, right? Well, here, you know what's really funny about that, Polly? There was a bill last year that you can bring in nurses from outside of the country. So you can, and by the way, in India, there is a massive fraud problem for nursing and doctors. So you can imagine all of these doctors and nurses, I think it's nurses, coming from India that don't know a damn thing, but like there's rules on it, like they have to be sponsored and there's other things involved with it too. But yeah, I'm sure it'll be just fine. All right, so insurance and financial institutions, nothing special here. We've talked about the virtual kiosks before and the regulation of investment in cryptocurrency. Basically, everybody that has a pension, within the next decade, you are going to lose it because some jerk off is going to invest in Fartcoin and it'll be totally over. Goodbye teacher's pension. Goodbye every I don't know, cop pension, so forth and so forth. So good luck out there. Make sure that you have your bags checked. Pensions and labor, didn't really pay attention to this. I imagine this probably has to do with losing the definition with certain services to build. Oh, this has to do with microneedling. I think this also has to do with Botox too, right? Hold on. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, so so they're going to include certain services. The bill adds a definition of microneedling. The bill requires a person who provides microneedling to provide a professional and proof of advert. Okay, so there is going to be, you're going to have a license for microneedling. Oh man, I thought they had it for other stuff too. The bill provides that an applicant for electrolysis license does not need to hold a cosmetologist license or esthetician. The bill requires an applicant. I thought this had Botox in it too. No. Well, oh no, it does. Electrology. Yeah, I think that's it. Hold on. My microphone's all goofy right now. Practice electrical hair removal and permanently remove hair from the body. Yeah, that's what it was, boys. The fee for cosmetology. Okay, but what was in the bill? The bill provides an applicant for and does not need to hold. Okay, so if you can be a hair removal license, but you don't have to hold a cosmetologist or an esthetician license before applying for it. Okay, so you can get. Okay, so this is good for the hair removal bros. Probably an esthetician type deal. Yeah, probably. I'm sure there is there like a massive demand for hair removal people. Is that what it is? So that way you don't have to get a cosmetology or an esthetician license. I don't know. I'd be really worried. Oh, the bill requires an applicant to complete a combined total of 600 hours of education and experience required under the rules. So basically, you're going to be cleaning up a lot of gooches, is what it sounds like. The hair removal people. You're going to have to get that mini machete and start chopping through the jungle, boys. Ew. Ew. All right, so education and career development. This went on forever. There were two committees that just went on forever. Education and Ways and Means. This one started at 1:30. I think this one ended at like 5:30 or 6. And then Ways and Means ended at 6:30. All right, so the reason why I even want to bring up Education Matters is because where's 1170? Wait, where's my? Did I not have it up? Oh, I guess I don't have it up. I thought I had it up. Hold on. I could have swore I had my notes up for this one. No, I didn't. Okay, so all right, let's just go up to it real. Oh, I heard Mishler talk. It's not Mishler. Let's take a look. Yeah, so the Pogagan Indian. You know, I didn't know Pogagan was an Indian thing. In addition, can okay, so it'll allow public school. It sounds like it'll be allowing to convert existing public schools into a charter school if certain conditions apply. Convert more than one existing public operating more innovation charter schools. Okay, so it'll turn bill, parent notification. Okay, so the bill also requires parent notification if a school determines a student is at risk of not achieving grade level proficiency in mathematics. That's not bad, right, Polly? No, not all things need to be kept to myself. Oh, for me? Oh, yeah, not for me. Hold on. Nope. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Also, I'm an open book. What are you talking about? I don't know if you're talking about me, though. The bill amends the definition of eligible student for purposes of eligibility for school scholarships distributed by scholar. Okay, that doesn't matter. Participating innovation networks tool. All right, I'll just go back and watch it this week. I'm sure Democrats hated this bill. That's why it's voted no. Anything with charter schools, Democrats are automatically going to vote no on. All right, everything else is kind of lame. No big deal on judiciary, homeowners associate governance, and homeowners associate matters. This isn't okay. So this isn't the Lakes of the Four Seasons bill. Waiting for that one. All right, no big deal. After that, I just have a bunch of committee stuff. That also Diego had his where is it? His BLSC meeting today. So yeah, a lot of fun there, huh? There. So what's happening tomorrow, boys and girls? Hold on. Where's 281? Being heard? Okay, 281 wasn't heard today. Is it being heard in the House or? Oh, why do I have it up here for a reason? Just not sure why. Hold on. Oh, okay, yeah, SB 281. All right, so the other one that was in Ways and Means was this one, SB 281, which we had talked about it. So this is Greg Good's bill. This would give $50 million in redevelopment tax credits, an extra $50 million in redevelopment tax credits. And by the way, for 2 years, certain nonprofits could award up to $350 million, potentially funding projects that can benefit themselves and insiders. Here's the thing. For 2 years, certain nonprofits will be the authority if they say, hey, these people can get up to $350 million in redevelopment tax credits. And you know how that's going to work with nonprofits, which we talked about with the Three Kings, Three Amigos, is that it's all handshakes and hand jobs. How can you help me out? And since it's in Greg Good's area, or since Greg Good is authoring the bill, I'm sure it has nothing but shady dripping all over it. I don't like it. I will go back and listen to it. There are a couple of people that had commented in support of it. So, oh, not me. I didn't say, like, I'm not getting my Gucci. We're in good shape. All right, so what's going on tomorrow? A couple of bills. Let's see. Some from the agricultural. No, I don't think there's going to be a big deal. These should go pretty quick. Maybe not veterinarian licensing, but since Yoder's on it, probably going to be fine. The big one, though, the two big ones are going to be HB 1002 and HB 1368. There better be an amendment to take me off of base billing, because I will lose my mind. Listen, everybody that's watching, or anybody that is going to get back to legislators, you will go down in the trust chart if you vote for this bill. And it doesn't, and if the Shockweiler is already in the bottom 5, so it really doesn't matter her. She can't get any worse. She's going to be staying in that the fifth leg of hell for a while, Dante's Inferno style. But in this bill, requires beginning. It will apply a levelized billing plan to all active residential customers. So you will automatically be put on this plan, and then you will have to call them to tell you to take you off this plan. Do you know how long you're going to have to be on the phone for with the electric company to tell them, hey, take me off this plan? I didn't sign up for it. This is crap. This is total crap. Ducky's in the house. It's a party now. It's a party. And then like a bunch of other stuff too, where, hey, guess what? Poor people are not allowed to have their electricity turned off during. Well, I think they're actually giving dates now. Not later than you may opt out of plan. Okay, so they actually have a plan. Not later. Offer each customer a mechanism by which the customer may opt out of a plan at any time without penalty. I shouldn't have to be I should not have to get a penalty. Yeah, you guys are, anybody who votes for this, this is a major bill for all of you guys out there. And I know it's going to get back to you. There might be people that lose their top spots, all right? If you vote yes on this bill. Because of this, I want to make sure on this, that I'm going to get a penalty. By the way, it's April. It's April 1st. This bill, well hold on. When are they planning on signing this thing? So this year, within a few months, which may opt out of a plan at any time without penalty. I shouldn't even have to pay a penalty. I didn't ask for this freaking plan. Active customer and the plans reconciliation mechanism is applied at such times. All right, I'm going to go through this bill, but I'm going to lose my mind. I already know it. I'm trying to be cute and sweet right now. This is a big deal bill. And then this carbon bill. This is about primacy, I think, right? Ground injection, carbon project. Yeah, I think this is about primacy. Oh, wait, Solidays bill? Yeah. And then annexation and local government matters, 1161. This is just changing all the boards to blah, 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 commission, blah, blah. Yeah, there's about a bunch of boards. And then also the House and Senate are meeting tomorrow. House has a handful of bills, so it's so crazy. This one is going to be a big one, boys and girls. Listen, Ducky, Polly, Barb, Drew, this is going to be a massive one. This is going to last forever. This was a big one that happened yesterday in committee, at past committee. We're probably going to hear every single Democrat talk about it. Same thing with the nuclear facility. This one will be fine. This one will be fine. This one will be interesting. This one will be fine. This one may be okay. And then moving over into the Senate, these will be fine. And then local regulation might be the only one. This is actually this is the funny bill. Local regulation is the funny bill. Hold on, 1048. Oh yeah, that won't be fine. Yeah, the VFD clothing one should have been done a while ago. This is the okay. So 1150. This is the funny bill because let me get my note. Boom. Yeah. Okay. So it basically says, hey, guess what? If you're in an HOA and you want to only have electric weed eaters and blowers and whatever, too bad, because we're gonna allow everything. I love this bill. Also, I don't know. Democrats are gonna hate this bill. I like it so far, at least on the surface level. Maybe I might be wrong. If certain people vote no on it, I'll have to go deeper on it, find out why they don't like it. But so far, I like it because you're not gonna HOAs can't tell you how you're gonna mow your lawn, or like what thing is there gonna be electric lawnmower? Is it gonna be a gas lawnmower? Nah. I want a nuclear powered lawnmower is what I want. I'm gonna burn my grass how I want to. It also takes away, there's also a zoning ordinance, so local governments within 5 miles of a public airport runway must adopt airspace overlay zoning. But the number one thing that I know Democrats are all lost their mind in committee was this utility usage data ordinance. I love this bill because in Indianapolis, I think it was, I don't know if it was the Environmental Sustainability Office, they said, hey, we want to know how much electricity you are using. And I think it had to do with like warehouses, or I don't think it was like residential people, but it was mostly for larger load users and like warehouses, that kind of stuff. And so this bill would repeal that. So Indianapolis wouldn't force people to give them their utility stuff, because you got to remember, when you have like a mini mall, you have to somehow track how much each unit is using, and then or anything like that. And now they're going to get fined. This is the year where you start getting fined if you don't report any of that stuff. So I like this bill. Democrats will hate it. I don't give a damn. So that will, I think it'll be just fine. Oh, right on time. I got lasagna in the oven right now. I haven't eaten dinner yet, and I'm about 5 minutes from taking the tinfoil off so I can put it in there for another 20 minutes. So, let me write down the clip porter. All right, so what did we learn today? Mostly that these big brain bros don't know what doxing is, and I'm going to win again, and there's a crazy lady who's going to lose her house pretty soon, and I'm going to laugh. Some lady who has karma coming like a sumbitch, and it is amazing. I absolutely love it. We'll see. And maybe at the end of the day, I'm gonna take somebody else's house too. That being said, come back tomorrow at 8 o'clock for the next 80s song. I don't know what it'll be. I'll figure it out tonight. Wine and some garlic bread. Dude, for real. Ducky, I do need some wine and garlic bread for sure. You know, Valentine's Day is coming up, so maybe. I need roses. I need, like, you know, when the Kentucky Derby where you have like the flowers on the horse, the horseshoe flowers. That's what I need for me, because all these crap talkers, they want to keep threatening Indy Reporter, and it's just not going to work out well for them. That's all I can say. Their time has come. I am a patient lad, and I will have my pound of flesh. That's all I'm going to say. All right, with that being said, you guys have a great night. Stay warm, stay dry, stay safe. I love you. Until tomorrow at 8 o'clock p.m.